Number 12. Triangle ABC has sides of 35 and has a hypotenuse of 171, and we are not given the third side, the second leg, the third side of this triangle. It says, note figure not drawn to scale. In the right triangle shown, what is the value of sine A? Sine, cosine, and tangent are the three trig identities that you need to know for the SAT. They are universal ratios that people long ago calculated and wrote down, and now we have computers that can calculate them and access those ratios, and they can be very helpful. For the SAT, the big thing you need to know is that the sine of a given angle is equal to the length of the opposite leg over the length of the hypotenuse. Cosine is equal to the length of the adjacent leg divided by the length of the hypotenuse, and tangent is equal to the length of the opposite leg over the adjacent leg. You may have seen your math book or your teacher write this as SOHCAHTOA. Running out of room there. SOHCAHTOA. That's for sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent, opposite over adjacent. If that's helpful to you, that's great, but this is definitely something you need to memorize. Yes. So when we say opposite and adjacent, what do we mean? If I have a right triangle poorly drawn, and this is my angle right here, the opposite leg, and when we say leg, we mean the two shorter sides that are touching the right angle, that are making the right angle, and the hypotenuse is the longest side, the one that is opposite of the right angle. And that's what opposite means. Opposite is the side, the leg that the angle is looking at. I like to think of it as, people are sitting at a table. We have several people sitting at a table. And, this person right here, the person that's opposite them on the table, they're looking at them, but they're not touching them. And the person that they're adjacent to, they could conceivably be bumping elbows all night, especially if one's left-handed and one's right-handed. They're bumping elbows as they eat. And then that's their adjacent. The same is true in this triangle. So this angle, the opposite leg is the side that they're looking at, but they're not touching. And the adjacent leg is the one that's bumping elbows with them, the one that's touching that angle. So for this particular triangle, I'm going to erase that. There we go. We want the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. Well, here is angle A. The opposite side, the opposite leg, its length is 35. And the hypotenuse, that longest side, its length is 171. So that's all it is. It's 35 over 171, which is B. And that's why this knowledge is so important, because if you have that knowledge, you can get this question done very quickly. You can just go, wait, it's just opposite over hypotenuse. That's 35 over 171. B, moving on. And that's what we want. For these questions like this, we want you to be able to recognize very quickly that you don't have to do any math. You can just find the answer, go on about your business, save that time for those more difficult questions that are further along the road, along the road, it comes together. So in some cases, in some certain problems, they might give you these two sides expecting you to use Pythagorean theorem to figure out this side and then use it to do, your trigonometric identities. It's not the case here, but be aware that may happen. But here it's just very straightforward. Opposite over hypotenuse, 35 over 171. That's B. Hey guys, it's Alyssa, and if you're looking for more SAT or PSAT help, go to mathwithalyssa.com. You can get over 25 hours. Yes, 25 hours of test prep, including math and reading and writing. And there's dozens of practice questions, downloadable study guides, you name it. Links to everything in the description down below. Leave me a comment if you have any questions about this video or any suggestions for future videos. And if this video was helpful or useful in any way, please let YouTube know. Like, share, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.